Over the years, various hotlines have been established to help comfort parents' concerns about the things their children have ingested. Things like toothpaste or cleaning supplies or Pop Rocks. Yes, you heard me right, Pop Rocks. In the 1970s in Seattle, a hotline was actually established just to help assure parents that this tiny candy was not going to hurt their children. But despite these efforts, it didn't stop Pop Rocks from becoming the center of a pretty explosive urban legend. Pop Rocks get their name from the fact that when the tiny candy is mixed with liquid such as saliva, the carbonation in the candy produces a popping or sizzling sound. And though the Food and Drug Administration finds the candy perfectly safe, a lot of parents still have their doubts, and a lot of horror stories arose. One of the most famous horror stories comes from the idea that if a child eats Pop Rocks and then drinks a soda, it will cause the child to explode. Yes, explode. The most famous case of this is actually an account of the original Life cereal commercials child star Little Mikey. According to legend, one day he was sitting on set gorging himself on candy and soda when he met the lethal combination. He took a handful of Pop Rocks and put it into his mouth and then took a sip of soda and ended his life and his acting career on accident. But on further research on the internet, I found that Little Mikey, whose real name is John Gilchrist, actually works as an account manager for a radio station in New York, and he's still perfectly intact. These rumors got so bad that General Foods, the company responsible for Pop Rocks, actually had to take out 45 ads in major publications and send individual letters to principals just to help ease concerns. Also, they sent the inventor of the candy on a nationwide tour to meet with audiences and tell them how the worst thing this little candy was going to give you was probably a tummy ache, nothing more. General Foods probably didn't help ease the legend much when they took the candy off the market in the early 80s. But there's an explanation for this too. The candy wasn't dangerous or anything. Kraft Foods had just bought the right to it, and they began marketing the candy as Action Candy for a few years before returning it to the original name of Pop Rocks later on. So there's scientific evidence that the food's perfectly safe, but people still perpetuate these legends. And that's why I'm talking about it. This is a good example of how we need to be skeptical of the things we hear in the media and how we can't just accept hearsay for fact. With all the availability to information we have these days, there's no reason not to second check the things you hear and develop a well-informed or accurate opinion. But just in case you're still concerned that Pop Rocks may be dangerous, I'm volunteering myself to put the legend to rest. Here, I have Pop Rocks. And here, I have a soda. And it's time to test it out. These are the Pop Rocks. I seem to be just fine. Looks like the scientists were right this time. Another urban legend put to rest.